What if I told you that the US government has documented UFOs shutting down nuclear missiles, tracked objects moving at impossible speeds, and even has evidence of UFOs landing at military bases? And I'm not talking about some conspiracy theory website claims, I'm talking about actual declassified government documents. Today, we're exploring 10 absolutely mind-blowing UFO secrets that have been declassified but somehow stayed under the radar. Nuclear obsession fact number 1. UFOs have repeatedly targeted nuclear weapons facilities. In 1967, something truly bizarre happened at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. According to a declassified Air Force teletype message, witnesses observed a large, round UFO hovering directly over one of America's nuclear missile silos. What happened next is the stuff of nightmares for military commanders. 10 Minuteman nuclear missiles suddenly went offline. The official report states, and I quote, "The cause of the upset is not known at this time. Engineers from Boeing were immediately dispatched to investigate the matter, and the document notes there was grave concern about the incident." But this wasn't just a one-time glitch. Declassified documents reveal that UFOs have shown an unusual interest in our nuclear facilities for decades. A 1966 report from Minot Air Force Base describes a UFO the size of a B-52 bomber hovering near missile sites, with radar confirmation tracking it moving from 100,000 feet to just 4,000 feet, a maneuver impossible for any aircraft of that era. Why are these objects so interested in our nuclear weapons? This pattern continues across decades and brings us to our next shocking discovery. Fact number 2. The invasion of Los Alamos. Los Alamos National Laboratory, the birthplace of the atomic bomb and still one of America's most sensitive nuclear facilities. A declassified FBI memorandum from 1947 reveals something stunning. UFOs were regularly swarming this top-secret facility. The document states specifically that the vicinity of Los Alamos is where sightings of UFOs appear to be concentrated, with numerous sightings throughout December 1948. And these weren't reports from random civilians. The witnesses included Office of Special Investigation agents, airline pilots, military pilots, and Los Alamos security inspectors. By 1949, the situation had become so concerning that the Office of Special Investigations issued a memo expressing serious concern about the continued appearance of unexplained phenomena. A meteor expert from the University of New Mexico was brought in and confirmed these objects were, well, not appearing to be of meteoric origin. Think about that. 150 unidentified objects over America's most sensitive nuclear research facility, documented in official government records. But what exactly were these objects doing? Fact number 3. Objects with impossible capabilities. The Pentagon has been tracking objects that defy our understanding of physics since at least the 1940s. A declassified top-secret report from 1948 makes it crystal clear. These objects were real, and their capabilities were beyond anything humans had developed. The report categorizes these objects into 3 distinct types: disc-shaped craft, elongated cigar-shaped vehicles, and balls of fire. But what's truly mind-blowing is their performance. According to a declassified Continental Air Command report from March 1950, military personnel witnessed an object that moved with incredible velocities, far exceeding any known vehicles. The document explicitly states that this object hovered completely motionless for 2 full minutes before demonstrating incredible acceleration. Technology that remains beyond our capabilities even today. Dr. Robert McGuire, a research physicist with 27 years of experience working with the government, stated in a now public interview, "These instruments have exquisite capabilities. People just cannot begin to imagine just how amazing these assets are." Okay, stick with me because what comes next is truly bizarre. At the halfway point of our countdown, we're about to get into the encounters that forced high-ranking military officials to admit something truly extraordinary was happening in our skies. Fact number 4. The government's official decree to lie. For decades, UFO researchers have accused the government of systematically lying about the phenomenon. Turns out, they were absolutely right. On October 18, 1950, a declassified letter was sent to the commanding officer of the Air Materiel Command at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. It contained explicit instructions. Whenever the press asked about UFO investigations, officials were to respond with this exact statement: "We have investigated and evaluated the incident and have found nothing of value and nothing that would change our previous estimates on this subject." And here's the kicker. The same memorandum requested that any information about UFOs be forwarded to higher headquarters for possible intelligence value. Think about that. They were publicly dismissing the entire phenomenon while privately collecting every scrap of data they could find. This deception went even further. The cover-up deepens. A declassified memo from the Department of the Air Force dated September 25, 1950, requested the immediate destruction of a top-secret report. Specifically, Top Secret Air Intelligence Report number 100-203-79 from 1948. This wasn't just filing away information. This was an explicit order to destroy evidence. The request is highly unusual in government record-keeping, where preservation is standard procedure. What could this report have contained that was so sensitive it needed to be completely erased from existence? We may never know exactly what was in that report, but recent testimonies suggest something truly extraordinary, which brings us to one of the most shocking developments in UFO history. Fact number 6. Canadian government document validates Grush's claims. In 2023, David Grush, a former intelligence officer, made headlines by testifying to Congress about a secret UFO crash retrieval program run by the U.S. government. Many dismissed his claims as impossible to verify, but here's where it gets mind-blowing. Recently released documents from the Canadian government reveal that a full year before Grush went public, Canadian Member of Parliament Larry Maguire had already contacted Grush for a private meeting about UFOs. The declassified Canadian documents include a summary of their conversation, revealing that Congress was now fully aware of the reality of UAPs. In fact, Maguire specifically asked Grush about plans for gradually releasing UFO information to the public in order to acclimatize the general population. Grush's response: "With some of the pilot videos that will be declassified, releasing them will be a good way to acclimatize the public." According to these documents, Grush explicitly stated that the Tic Tac UFO encountered by the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group could only be explained as a non-human, intelligently controlled craft. But what's been stopping this information from coming out? Fact number 7. Religious beliefs blocking UFO disclosure. This might sound bizarre, but according to multiple whistleblowers, one of the biggest obstacles to UFO disclosure isn't technological or national security concerns. It's religious beliefs. The declassified Canadian documents reveal Grush stating that senior government officials have religious belief systems or personal bubbles and don't want to deal with the problem, as they don't want their worldview flipped if UAP are confirmed as non-human intelligence. This claim is independently supported by Lou Elizondo, the former head of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, who stated that multiple conservative members of Congress sought to halt all UFO investigations because they believed the phenomenon was demonic. Think about that. Critical national security investigations potentially being blocked because they conflict with personal religious views. Speaking of strange behavior. Fact number 8. UFOs use acoustic camouflage. How do you hide something in plain sight? According to declassified research, UFOs have developed a fascinating strategy. They mimic the sounds of conventional aircraft. Dr. Bruce Cornett, a retired independent researcher cited in a Begin Sadat Center for Strategic Studies paper, documented how UFOs often produce sound patterns identical to commercial jet engines. In one documented case, a cigar-shaped object stopped in midair, rotated 180 degrees while mimicking the sound of a conventional jet engine. Other UFOs have been caught mimicking propeller sounds, but with a critical flaw: they fail to produce a natural Doppler effect. Dr. Cornett concluded this was likely due to anti-gravity technology that distorts outgoing sound waves in ways that defy conventional physics. As one declassified report notes, to an observer on the ground the sound is there, but something about it feels off. Close Encounter. Fact number 9. The UFO salesman. Not all UFO stories involve distant lights in the sky. One of the strangest declassified documents describes what appears to be an attempt at first contact. A letter addressed to the commanding officer of naval intelligence, written by a former naval officer, details an extraordinary encounter in Canada. While browsing private aircraft for sale, the officer met Professor Albert Hovings of Calgary, who claimed to possess a flying saucer-like craft. According to the document, Hovings stated his craft could travel from 0 to 1,600 miles per hour and land on both air and water. He also claimed to have already flown it over the United States. The most intriguing part? Rather than dismissing this claim outright, a declassified memo reveals that Major Boggs of the Air Force took a serious interest in the case. While officially stating there was no credence to the flying saucer claim, the memo also suggested that the individual could be of importance to counterintelligence agencies, and a formal investigation was approved. Was this a hoax, an attempt at technological exchange, or something even stranger? The documents don't provide a clear answer, but they do show the military took it seriously enough to investigate. Fact number 10. The reconnaissance theory. We've saved the most disturbing revelation for last. Many argue that if UFOs represented a threat, they would have shown overt hostility by now. However, recently leaked conversations from senior military officials suggest a far more unsettling possibility. According to some of America's highest-ranking military leaders, the behavior historically observed in UFOs mirrors a key phase of U.S. military strategy: the deep intelligence and reconnaissance conducted in preparation for conflict. The pattern is disturbingly familiar to military strategists: focused interest in our most sensitive military installations, particularly nuclear facilities, demonstrations of technological superiority, and systematic data collection on our defense capabilities. As one Air Force analysis noted, the objects appear to be engaged in deliberate surveillance of our most critical defense systems. Think about it. If you were planning a military action against a technologically inferior opponent, wouldn't you first carefully study their capabilities? The pattern of UFO activity documented in these declassified files follows precisely this approach. So what does it all mean? The declassified documents we've examined today reveal an uncomfortable truth. For over 75 years, the U.S. government has been tracking objects in our skies that demonstrate technology far beyond human capabilities, while simultaneously denying their existence to the public. These aren't just random lights in the sky. They're objects with clear intent, focused on our most sensitive military installations, and demonstrating capabilities that remain beyond our technological reach even today. If you found this information as mind-blowing as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more declassified revelations. And let me know in the comments, which of these 10 facts shocked you the most? Until next time, keep looking up, but maybe be careful what you wish for.